LeBron, he's too big to be that type of bully. To bully Stephen A. and to bully Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst is a sweet person, man. He's just trying to do his thing. And I've always liked LeBron, but him being a bully, it turned me off, Dan.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit.
Which leads, obviously, to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing it as well.
LeBron James just can't catch a break out here. Charles Barkley is on his neck now, and he ain't holding back. If you missed the tea, LeBron's been beefing heavy with Stephen A. Smith after Stephen said something slick about Bronny.
It started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know that he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about it again. Oh my God.
And listen, everyone knows LeBron don't play about his kids. He snapped on Stephen right at a game, turning the whole situation into a circus. But Stephen ain't the type to back down from drama, so he clapped back at LeBron, calling out his BS. That's when things really popped off. They started throwing shots at each other, and it was messy as hell. LeBron wasn't holding back for nobody. Then Charles Barkley decided to jump in the ring too, and he blasted LeBron for trying to bully Stephen. Charles thinks LeBron is doing way too much, like he's hiding something deep about this drama. He's convinced there's a secret LeBron ain't telling us.
Who had a better week, LeBron James or Stephen A. Smith?
Turned me off, Dan.
So what did LeBron even say to make Charles that mad? And what is LeBron really keeping from us? Let's get into it. Charles Barkley is riding hard for Stephen A. Smith against LeBron and the big machine behind him, no matter what it costs. And honestly, it ain't hard to see why Charles feels this way. Because LeBron recently went on the Pat McAfee podcast to air out all his problems with Stephen. That's wild because LeBron doesn't even like giving interviews like that. Apart from quick courtside chats or promo runs, you rarely see him on podcasts. So when fans heard he was pulling up on Pat McAfee, they already knew he was going to drag Stephen A. Smith. And he sure did.
Bronny should stay in college. Because if it's about Bronny, right now he is not up there to be no top pick, which means his name is not going to be called.
The likelihood of your son being able to be what you were is not likely.
The bottom line to all of this, right now he is not an NBA level player.
During that interview, LeBron was working overtime to look like the innocent victim while making Stephen out to be the villain. He kept saying he was just being a dad protecting his family, claiming he had no choice because Stephen came for them. And when he did that shady laugh and dropped that Taylor Swift comment, we knew he was about to go all in on Stephen. He wasn't even trying to hide the shade. He let it fly with no filter. But here's the kicker. It didn't land like he wanted. Instead of people backing him up, they sided with Stephen.
Bronny's a prospect. Number one, I'm glad he's healthy. I think he should be in the G League. He's not ready to play in the NBA right now.
And it's expected he will spend.
And he should be in the G League because he's not ready to play in the NBA first and foremost. But secondly, there's going to be some guys coming for his head. And he's not ready because he's really a tweener. He's a point guard, two guard. His probably best attribute right now is being a defender. But I think to take the pressure off him and let him get better as a player, he should be in the G.
Fans thought LeBron went too far, and Charles Barkley agrees. On a recent live stream, Charles straight up called LeBron out for acting like a bully. This drama is getting wilder by the day. At first, it seemed like some petty mess that would die down quick, but now it's just getting bigger. For real, the whole thing started just because Stephen A. Smith said LeBron was putting too much pressure on Bronny just because he wants to play in the NBA with him someday.
What do you make of LeBron's comments?
That this is all his fault. All of it. When we get to Bronny James, that kid has done nothing. The kid has done nothing but work hard, try to get on this game and all of this other stuff. Any attention that he's warranted has been because of his daddy. I want to play with my son. I want to stay here until my son gets to the NBA. We've seen interviews with Savannah and LeBron, and they were asked about Bronny. What did she say? I just want my son to be healthy and happy.
Right.
LeBron, I want to be in the NBA. That's what we want.
If you know LeBron, you already know he's been loud about wanting to play alongside Bronny. But Stephen A. Smith ain't buying that dream. It's not that he hates a father-son duo in the league. Nah, it's deeper. Stephen thinks Bronny just ain't ready for all that heat yet. Think about it. Being the son of one of the greatest ballers ever is already wild pressure. Bronny's name is always trending, eyes locked on him 24/7, and he wasn't even a top draft pick. Stephen thinks LeBron should have let Bronny cook in the G League first and build his game up slow instead of rushing him into the NBA spotlight.
When we get to Bronny James, that kid has done nothing. The kid has done nothing but work hard, try to get on this game and all of this other stuff. Any attention that he's warranted has been because of his daddy. I want to play with my son. I want to stay here until my son gets to the NBA.
In Stephen's eyes, throwing Bronny on an NBA court before he's fully prepped could mess up his growth in the long run. He's been saying this boldly for a while now. To him, there's plenty of young players grinding every single day for a shot at the league. Kids who might deserve it more than Bronny right now. And honestly, he ain't the only one thinking like that. Lots of folks been saying Bronny's spot in the league feels rushed.
Just felt like on a back-to-back, just him giving us energy, I think, was the goal. I maybe put him in a tough spot, flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game and Philly and all that stuff. It's, he didn't play well, but he's been playing great, in the Stay Ready games, and he's been playing great in the G. So I have confidence in him, but obviously didn't provide that at a high level.
Charles Barkley also had to drop his 2 cents. He called out the Lakers for how they handled Bronny's entry into the league. Charles said they should have eased him in gently instead of tossing him straight into the fire like that. In Charles's opinion, Bronny would be better off staying in the G League, sharpening his skills and proving himself for real. That way, when he does hit the NBA court, it's because he earned it with his own grind.
I do find myself looking at LeBron James instead of Bronny James. Because LeBron is the basketball savant. LeBron is one of the top 2 greatest players in the history of the game. LeBron has forgotten more basketball than most people would know. So no matter what we think about Bronny, he knows more. But you see what you see. Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career and 0 for 7 from three-point range. And he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game?
Not just because he got a superstar dad backing him. And before anyone calls it jealousy, it's not. Plenty of analysts agree with this take. For example, ESPN's NBA draft expert Jonathan Givney explained why Bronny got dropped from last year's pro prospects list. On NBA Today, he said Bronny was doing decent, especially after coming off a serious heart issue that kept him out for 4 months. He said, "I love Bronny James's game still. We have to remember that this kid missed 4 months with a heart issue starting in July. It really seemed to have derailed his season. But when Bronny got removed from the prospects list, LeBron snapped on everyone involved, accusing them of hating. He tweeted, "Can y'all please just let the kid be a kid and enjoy college basketball? The work and results will ultimately do the talking no matter what he decides to do. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what a mock draft says. He just works, earned not given."
I am not a person that had a problem with Bronny James being on the court for the season opener with LeBron James. That was a phenomenal moment to see a father on the court with his son who has NBA aspirations playing together for the first time in NBA history. The Griffeys in baseball, Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. were in attendance for it. It was a special moment. My position has always been that should have been the only moment we saw Bronny James in a Lakers uniform this season, because he's not ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be an NBA player. I'm not here to tell you that he should give up his dreams and his aspirations. I think the kid's got potential. I think the kid will be in the NBA one day. I watched him in the G League doing his thing. I think he's going to be fine eventually. But that's not the case yet.
LeBron also said, "And to all the other kids out there striving to be great, just keep your head down, blinders on, and keep grinding. These mock drafts don't matter one bit. I promise you only the work matters. Let's talk real basketball, people." But Stephen A. wasted zero time clapping back. He blamed LeBron for all the negativity Bronny's facing, saying the kid is just trying to focus on his game, but LeBron keeps making him a headline. What do you think about LeBron's comments? Stephen A. been saying it from day one. LeBron needs to let Bronny grow at his own pace instead of forcing this fairy tale father-son moment right now. And look, we get it. A father and son playing together is legendary in any sport. For LeBron and Bronny, it would be history since it's never happened in the NBA before. Other sports had that magic though. Look at Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. They weren't just the first father-son duo in MLB. They played in the same outfield and created iconic moments together. That's how you really make history. Then there's Gordie Howe, one of hockey's greatest legends ever. This man, Gordie Howe, was a straight-up legend. 4 Stanley Cups, 6 MVPs, and when he retired, he held the NHL record for career points. He even made it onto the NHL's 100th anniversary team. But one of the coldest moves of his whole career? Hitting the ice with not one but both of his sons, Mark and Marty Howe. And it wasn't some one-off publicity stunt either. They played together for 5 whole seasons. Now LeBron's always yelling about how his biggest dream is to share the court with Bronny. But here's the real question. Does Bronny even want that? And if he does, is he really ready for it? A lot of fans think LeBron needs to ask himself what really matters more. Having that father-son NBA moment or letting Bronny build his own legacy his own way. And trust, Stephen A. Smith will always remind him of that. Stephen's latest take on Bronny must have hit LeBron deep, especially because he dropped those comments on ESPN after Bronny's rough night during the Lakers' loss to the 76ers. Bronny was out there for 15 minutes and didn't score a single point. It was a hard game for him, but honestly, nobody was shocked. His coach, JJ Redick, looked real disappointed in that post-game press conference. He tried to brush it off, saying Bronny was just struggling under the bright lights and crazy media pressure. But at this point, that excuse is starting to sound old. One thing was clear. Even Bronny's own coach knew they set him up for failure by pushing him way past his limits too soon. And you already know Stephen A. Smith jumped in fast. He straight up told LeBron to quit forcing it. Stephen said Bronny just ain't ready yet, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with letting the kid grow his skills and confidence in a chill, low-stakes environment first. To prove his point, Stephen even pulled up Bronny's stats, and let's just say they didn't look like NBA numbers. Then Stephen took it even further on his show, throwing serious shade at LeBron. He said LeBron's out here pushing his own dreams onto Bronny without thinking about how it could mess up his son's career in the long run. Stephen A. made it clear, though, he wasn't trying to hate on LeBron or trash Bronny's talent. He said he'd never do that. His whole point was that he actually cares about Bronny. He doesn't want to see his potential get wasted just because LeBron is so focused on living out his father-son NBA fantasy. To keep it real, Stephen A. made some valid points. Bronny ain't looking good in the NBA right now, and he has no space to sharpen his skills properly. It's only a matter of time before the league chews him up and spits him out. Daddy's money and influence can only carry him so far. But LeBron wasn't having none of Stephen's comments. Things took a crazy turn when Stephen A. Smith and LeBron ended up in the same stadium at the Lakers versus Knicks game, which the Lakers won. Stephen was chilling courtside while LeBron and Bronny were out there doing their thing. But nobody expected what went down next. During the third quarter break, LeBron marched straight up to Stephen A., and it didn't take long for things to heat up. LeBron confronted Stephen about his comments on Bronny.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father.
Telling him flat out to keep his son's name out of his mouth. But that wasn't the end of it. At first, nobody knew exactly what LeBron said to Stephen, but you could tell from their faces that it wasn't friendly small talk. Later on, LeBron was caught talking about it with ESPN's Richard Jefferson during a Lakers vs. Celtics game.
You want me? Draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he's better than some of the NBA players are right now when he was in high school. If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop. You can't do this. If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop. I said it then. This is before he got drafted. Stop doing this. If we see this, you're his dad and you're a basketball savant. You must see this. Don't do this. Because you're putting him under such a microscope. It's gonna be too much for him to overcome. Give him a chance. So that's what I said. And because I prefaced it by saying, as a dad, the only reason I said as a dad is because you marketed yourself as his dad to help him get into the league. You didn't do that. Melo didn't do that, or it hasn't yet, and I know he wouldn't.
D-Wade,
Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry, the list goes. None of them did that. None of them. He's the only one. And I said, yo, that's why I'm saying this to you. I don't want to do this. I know your intentions are honorable. Go back and watch the whole tape of me saying it. I know your intentions are honorable. I know you don't mean harm. But there's some vultures out here, and they gonna come for him.
Part of their convo got picked up on camera, and fans quickly figured out why LeBron was so mad. This had everyone buzzing online. Many people took LeBron's side, dragging Stephen for calling him a bad dad just because he's trying to give Bronny the opportunities he never had growing up. But Stephen A. wasn't about to let that slide. No way. He laid it all out when he appeared on Gilbert Arenas' show, Gil's Arena. Stephen didn't back down from the drama at all. He denied shading Bronny or LeBron, but then doubled down on his earlier comments. He said anyone who couldn't see or just refused to accept that LeBron's decisions about Bronny's career were questionable was straight up delusional. The internet is completely split on this one. Some people think Stephen's being too harsh, calling him a bully, while others think LeBron is pushing Bronny way too hard and piling up unnecessary pressure on him. This is one of those situations where you either see where Stephen's coming from, or you think LeBron's just out here trying to give his son a shot to shine. But LeBron messed up public opinion when he went on the Pat McAfee podcast and started throwing mean shots at Stephen A., making Charles Barkley call him out for acting like a bully. And honestly, Stephen A. has made it clear again and again that he wasn't trying to be malicious towards LeBron or Bronny. He was just saying what everyone else has been thinking, but too scared of LeBron to say out loud. But what do you think? Is Charles right about LeBron being a bully? Or should people ease off and let LeBron raise his son how he wants? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.